Welcome back to Doubleheader with Amir Days and Keenan Costain, YouTube. And as they say before, do you hear what I hear? Or do you see what I see? Well, everybody, as I said before, welcome back. As you can tell by the title, we're going to do some early unwrapping and opening presents because it's Christmas themed here on Doubleheader. And we're going to go back to the year 2004. Eh, Remember anything in particular in 2004, Keenan?
Man, that was such a good year. Let's see, I wasn't 7 years old yet because my birthday's later in December by the time of this recording. But man, December of 2004 was a lot of fun, childhood and a lot of good memories. And when it comes to football per se, I don't really remember yet. And like we said before on this podcast, we didn't watch the NFL until maybe 2007, 2008, most likely 2008. So, Amir, I see we got the Kansas City Chiefs on screen.
Yes, we do, and the Raiders. And at the time of this recording, this took place 2 days after their game on Black Friday, which was a lot closer than we thought, like everyone thought. And that's for me in 2004. I just turned 7 years old. Still, NFL isn't part of my life. I was watching Teen Titans and Thomas the Tank Engine at that point. So I know I was looking forward to getting a lot of Teen Titans and Thomas stuff for Christmas that year. Sure enough, I did. And yeah, that was the last Christmas I had in Huntersville before I moved down to Matthews. So that was real fun.
Yep, and yep, small town Wesley Chapel for me, and in the North Carolina area. Now we both live in close to Charlotte or in Charlotte, and yeah. So without further ado, let's just get this presentation underway, and let's start opening some gifts.
Oh yeah, because I can see here it's here's a wonderful season for the Raiders, and but you see, this is Chiefs fan. Okay, so let's begin with the Raiders. Well, the Raiders. When I read you were 2 seasons removed from a Super Bowl appearance, and it unfortunately didn't go well. You got dominated by the Buccaneers. And the 2 year since, the quarterback, Rich Gannon, who won MVP that year but had a forgettable Super Bowl, yeah, couldn't replicate or get that bad taste out of his mouth due to injuries, and the latter of which occurred early in 2004, which ended his season. And you probably recognize the name Rich Gannon because he did a lot of play by people today working on his play by play work for CBS.
Hmm. Yeah. So as you can see by the Raiders, they've had a little bit of moments, but a lot of good moments from that season. But came up short as you said, Amir. So and as for the Chiefs, they're doing their thing, even though that they're going through a little bit of a phase themselves that year. I mean, it's not the Chiefs that we know of today. Two two-time defending bowl Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, there was it's crazy to talk about the Raiders going to a Super Bowl back in the early 2000s where the Chiefs were Super Bowl caliber, I would say, but not didn't couldn't quite make it there. Speaking of which, oh, yeah, good.
Yeah,
Speaking of the
but
Raiders,
mhm.
you might recognize this guy, Kerry Collins.
Kerry Collins. Yeah, we talked about him before in our Panthers episode, which you can click on the upper right hand corner of your screen now, which is episode 8, I believe.
Yep, and also, or since 2004, we mentioned him briefly in our 2004 draft episode, and 'cause he was the last quarterback. Well, one reason why they drafted Eli Manning, who by this point had taken over the reins in East Weatherford for the Giants. Having said that, Kerry, of course, came in for again after he went down with the injury in week 3, ironically against the Buccaneers, which they won. And well, I put up some decent numbers. The Raiders, unfortunately, gave up a lot of points, and by the time after getting dropped by the Falcons late in the season, they were eliminated from the playoffs for a second year in a row. However, going into the Christmas match against the Chiefs, they were coming up a 40-35 win over the Titans, so they had some confidence and they're looking for some revenge because they lost to these same Chiefs 20 days earlier in Oakland, 34-27. Speaking of the Chiefs, I gotta love technology. Here we go. Well, let's see here. 2003. Hey, it looked like he said Chiefs of old are used to seeing them like score a lot of points. Well, that was the case in '03. They led the NFL in scoring offense. That is.
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, again, you would think that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce's team would put up those types of numbers. But with this team, you know, um, I didn't really see the Chiefs as a really good team. I thought they would be like middle of the pack, sort of down in the dumps, sort of team back 20 years ago.
Well, I mean, at this point, they were it was a transition period for the Chiefs because the '03 team made the playoffs for the first time since '97. And then they helped make part to their offense led by Tony Gonzalez, Frank Green, Will Shields, Priest Holmes, and Larry Johnson. So if you had Chiefs and any Chiefs offensive players in your fantasy lineup, oh, you cashed in big time that season.
Yeah, so um, the first time since '97, like you said, Amir, that's an accomplishment of itself. So that's pretty impressive.
Oh
Going
yeah,
through that phase.
and they won the AFC West, made hosted the playoff game, also first since '97. But unfortunately, they couldn't keep this man off the field. You should be familiar with this guy.
Let's see. Oh, that's Peyton Manning, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. So yeah, the first playoff game was against Peyton Manning, and it was a thriller, 38-31. But fortunately, the Chiefs lost, and their defense couldn't force a punt. That don't not just force a punt in that game. And as a result, the Colts moved on to the championship round, while the Chiefs were sent packing. And it was the microcosm of their season because while they had a great offense, their defense gave up a lot of points that year. And while they overcame it in '03, that was not the case in '04. Because again, still good offense. So Priest, Larry, Tony, and Trent, but their defense again can keep guys off the scoreboard. And by week 11, their chances of getting to the playoffs were all but over after losing to the Chargers at home.
Hmm. Okay, so that's interesting to know going into this game coming up.
Yep. And we'll see the Chiefs. I mean, they didn't pack it in. I mean, they won four straight, including actually three straight afterwards, including the 45-17 drubbing of the Broncos. But fortunately, hours after they completed that game, they were eliminated from playoff contention. But still, got a big game coming against the Raiders on Christmas night, and you beat these guys 20 days earlier, so by 7. So why not say to yourself, hey, we can beat them once, we can beat them again, and it's on the national stage as well.
Yeah, definitely. And before we continue, if you see me move my mic up and down, folks, I'm just drinking some water. I'm using a different setup this week, and plus I'm in a different location, as you can see here. I'm not in my normal studio. But if you see me move my mic up and down, it's not because I have mic problems. I'm just drinking some water, and I'm trying to stay a little bit giving my voice a rest as well because some stuff going around, and plus it's getting a little bit colder outside. So I just wanted to make that public service announcement for you guys watching this.
All good. It feels good to be cold outside because it's December. It's supposed to be cold.
Hmm.
And speaking of December, of course, let's move on. Who's going to be calling the game for this Christmas Day matchup? And it's going to be Dick Genberg and Dan Dierdorf and Armin Catan.
I can say this. I don't think we've done these two yet. Calling the games, haven't we?
Yep, Dick. Ember called the Patriots 49ers game that we did back in October, the earthquake one, and Theodore did the Panthers Jaguars game for ABC, the one that you mentioned earlier. Do you believe this is the first time we done a game? Yeah, this actually is the first time we. No, scratch that. Armin was the silent reporter for the Dolphins Seahawks game in '99 for our home finale episode. That's
Okay, so Dolphins finale. Okay, episode. I'll make a note of that. But yeah, this is going to be the second time we see one of these guys today.
yep. And so I given the I know the teams are out of the playoff picture, but it's Christmas Day, rivalry game, so of course it's gonna be bragging rights, and it's because it is the Raiders and the Chiefs. I say the Chiefs will win it, but they'll win it by on a last second field goal, 30-27.
Well, if I had to guess, for once again, I've not been able to do a little bit of research for this game. So if I had to take a wild guess, I would say Chiefs win it by 27-20. So it's gonna be close.
Yep. So folks, you know you have your Christmas dinner prepared. Turn on the TV to your local CBS station and get ready to unwrap a special presentation by NFL and CBS. We got a good one on hands at Arrowhead Stadium between the Kansas City Chiefs and Oakland Raiders. That's highlighted by this pretty cool ornament of Arrowhead Stadium.
What would be cool if there was a Panthers ornament or a Browns ornament of the stadium or what have you, since we're both fans of those teams, or in this case for you, Amir, Colts and Panthers.
Oh yeah, and then since we're on the subject of sports, Tar Heels, Alabama, UNC Charlotte, Wingate, Hornets. I'm pretty sure they have one, but I do like the Christmas ornaments for all the sports teams and colleges. They really go all out, and for public as well.
Yeah, and folks, this is all Carolina-based teams, uh, minus Cleveland and Indianapolis.
In Alabama, and also speaking of which, I'm wearing an Alabama shirt because it's red and because it's Christmas themed episode. And
Yep,
speaking
and
of red, oh,
unfortunately, I do not have any blue or red. I all have is a gray long sleeve Bucky's shirt, which is warmest the warmest shirt I could find because like I said during my public service announcement, it is cold out there.
oh yeah. Speaking of cold, also grab some hot cocoa or hot chocolate as well, folks, because it's gonna be cold at Kansas City. It was like 34 degrees at kickoff. So anyway, either way, gonna be a good one at Arrowhead Stadium. So, having said all that, let's start unwrapping the score, the box score. There we go. So here we are. Okay, so we begin. Chiefs win the toss, get the ball first, and so 3 plays in. Looks things are looking good until this happens. Intercepted on the deflection, and it's Tyler Brayton. Brayton, the defensive end, puts it off on the carom, and the Raiders have the first chance inside the 10. Oh yeah, so Tyler Brayton, a defensive end, catches a deflected pass and intercepts it. So good play by the defensive end, or by Tyler Brayton rather.
Man, looking like the Grinch on that play. You know how the I am the Grinch that's so Christmas.
Yeah, you know what? The Raiders, they love playing the role of the villains. You know, you see highlights or videos of Raider games, you see guys dressed as Darth Vader, or they call it Darth Raider, and
Hmm.
all those, some iconic villains or what have you. And, well, sure enough, I mean, and they're playing Kansas City, why not play the role of the Grinch? Of course, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah, bah humbug.
Oh, yeah, bah humbug indeed. That's what Chiefs fans were saying after seeing that play. But for the Raiders, you're saying to yourself, "It's the season." And, well, 3 plays later, they be seeing that again.
touchdown, Jerry Porter. Porter, who had 3 last week against Tennessee, gives the Raiders the early lead.
Yep. So not sure if you heard that both on YouTube and Spotify, but Eric Collins found this man, Jerry Porter, and 3 plays later from 5 yards out. And wouldn't you know it, the Raiders are on the board first. So again, 'tis the season, Oakland, and bah humbug, Kansas City.
Well, bah humbug to Kansas City, and as for as for the Oakland Raiders, they can have all the milk and cookies on that possession.
Oh yes. Speaking of more milk and cookies for the Raiders, well, the Chiefs got rolling. I mean, they got the ball back, looked being just to get on the board, but unfortunately, they were saying bah humbug once again.
And he's touched the ball as the Chiefs' new punter as he rolls at the 33-yard line. The Raiders are coming out with the big plays early, an interception for touchdown, and now they block the field goal.
Wow, a block.
Yeah, and as Dick Wimberg said, the Raiders are coming with big plays early. I mean, they had the interception, the touchdown, now block field goal. Provided by number 66, Langston Walker. So, man, Raiders, I say you are wrapping, you're having a fun time at the Christmas tree.
Yeah. So let's see, an interception, a touchdown, and a blocked field goal. So that's 3 Christmas presents.
Oh, yes. Unfortunately, the Raiders had to hold off on the 4th one because they couldn't convert on the good field position. So, luckily for them, so look for the Chiefs. They got a second shot, took advantage of it.
Johnson. Touchdown.
Yep, Larry Johnson, and the since we're keeping up with the whole basketball, since the NBA also has their games on Christmas Day. No, it's not that Larry Johnson Hornets fans. There was Larry Johnson in Kansas City at this time.
Yeah, Larry Johnson. I let's see, Larry. I think I've heard of Larry Johnson, the football player. So, let me guess. Running back. I should say.
Yep, he played running
Okay.
back.
Mhm. Yep. So Larry Johnson getting the score, and well, Kansas City, you get a Christmas present.
Oh yes, yeah, that hot cocoa tastes a little better at Arrowhead Stadium. Now it's
Mm.
tied at all 7 apiece. And, oh, by the way, this is also 2004 was the return of Charlotte basketball that would be in the Bobcats at this time as well, hence the Larry Johnson reference.
Mhm.
Having said all that, all right, we got ourselves a game here at Arrowhead Stadium, and well, Silver and Black get the ball back, rhymes, and well, found the end zone once again. I see a president that says "King of the Wild Frontier." What that's all about?
His specialty, 245 pounds, a powerful man. 2nd and 1 at the 3. And it's Crockett rolling his way into the end zone for a touchdown.
Okay, that's why it's called King of the Wild Frontier, because Mr. Zach Crockett finds the end zone. That's what Chris Berman would call every time he can score a touchdown on NFL primetime.
Well, Zach Crockett, you get a Christmas present, and possibly a plate of milk and cookies.
Oh yes, definitely. So okay. So again, scores changed again at Arrowhead, and the hometown fans are saying "Bah humbug," but don't worry, Chiefs fans. I see here the hometown team returned the favor with the thanks to a fan favorite and Hall of Famer. Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez.
Si, senor. And Feliz Navidad, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yeah, Feliz Navidad indeed. Cue 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 that song, but we don't want to get copyright strike. But
Oh no,
um,
no, we don't.
but cue that song anyways. But Tony Gonzalez finding the end zone. You get a Christmas present.
Oh yes, you do. And after the Raiders won, after the Chiefs didn't force a punt, rather Chiefs found the end zone once again. And Dick Enberg, take it away, sir.
First down, Chiefs at the 26 of the Raiders. Again, Green. Touchdown. Yes,
Tony Gonzalez.
I'm gonna guess Tony Gonzalez as well.
Yes, it is. Yep, Tony Gonzalez found the end zone again. And I like how Dick Enberg says, "Guess who?" Like I said, I know. As I said, Dick Enberg, one of the best to ever do it. May he rest in peace. One of the best announcers in the NFL. He showed it right there. Water?
Yeah, yep, water and definitely Tony Gonzalez. You get not one but two Christmas presents because you found the end zone twice.
Yep, on back-to-back drives, and he had a big night. He had 12 receptions for 124 yards and the two touchdowns you just heard. So it puts Kinsey in front for the first time all day. But the Raiders, well, they're not going to go down without a fight. And sure enough, on their ensuing possession, someone else got a Christmas present.
fake to Redmond. Throw down the middle, wide open. Touchdown, Elvis Gwynn.
Elvis Whitted. It sounds like, and you have every reason to be celebrating because you now be your last touchdown in the NFL. But what a way to do it on Christmas Day.
Yeah, yeah, that celebration is very appropriate. According to this picture that you see on your screen, YouTube. So, sir, you get a Christmas present and way to celebrate.
Definitely. And it was like Alvin sounds a little bit like Alvin because I know Alvin and the Chipmunks did a Christmas song.
Alvin!
Oh, yeah. I remember that movie, seen that in 2008, 4 years later after this game took place.
Well, 2007, if you want to be more specific.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It came out in 2007. That's right. But
Yep,
either way.
the first.
Yeah,
Yep.
yep. Oh, yeah. And I know Chiefs fans are probably saying, Alvis, or even Raider fans too. And I know Al Davis was probably screaming his name. Either way, we're all tied up once again at Arrowhead, and man, it's been quite the light show in the first half here at Arrowhead.
Yeah, what a game. And our predictions are looking actually pretty good.
Yeah, yep. Because and again, Raiders and the Chiefs, you know they're gonna go neck and neck. And so, having said all that, it's tied once again. And Chiefs get the ball back, a little time remaining in the first half, have a chance to take the lead, but unfortunately, Ebenezer Screws struck again.
50-yard attempt. He's got it. It bounced off the cross. It hit the distance and it hit the crossbar.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Yeah, humbug indeed. And it had the distance, but it died down towards the end. So tied up at 21 apiece at halftime at Arrowhead Stadium.
Man, well, it looks like there was a lump of coal there, when it hit the crossbar.
Yeah, if not, they discovered Charlie Brown's Christmas tree and one that didn't look too good.
No, it did not. And it went,
Yep, or when he put the ornament on, it just went.
yeah, that was the sound effect, that doink, like, or
Yep. So, anywho, tied up at 21 apiece at Arrowhead Stadium. Again, our prediction looks good. So, any predictions for the second half?
well, I still think Kansas City can pull this off. I did say 27-20. I mean, it's close. The score, still reflects, excuse me, reflects at halftime. So I still feel pretty good.
Yep, and the Raiders. I mean, I know you're feeling pretty good because right now you're tied with the Chiefs. It's, yeah, I mean, and yeah, made a big play on defense and special teams. Chiefs, you're feeling like, man, we let a could be up by a little bit more, but we can correct those. We can win this. Maybe going away, maybe. But I haven't said all that. I still think the Chiefs have a shot, have a chance to pull this out.
Yep, definitely. So, folks, it's halftime. If you're still hungry, there's plenty of milk and cookies and Christmas dinner on the table.
Oh yeah, there's a turkey. There's some mac and cheese. What else we get? Ooh, marshmallows. Some, again, hot cocoa, hot
Um,
chocolate.
Ham. There's usually a Christmas ham.
Oh, the beef roast and also some gingerbread. Double gingerbread houses.
Let's see. Hot chocolate, hot cocoa, like you said. Well, it's Christmas related. Well, it's not Thanksgiving like we did a few weeks ago, but hey, Christmas food is a is a is not a bad option either.
Yep, just be sure to share it with your friends. Unlike a certain guy I know at Central Park. Anywho, yeah, we like pizza, or Joey doesn't share food. No, we share food on here in a doubleheader. And speaking of sharing food, let's share the next slide. Yeah, and I'm looking at the notes. Well, let's just say the light show dimmed a little bit. Defense stepped up, but Mr. Sebastian Janikowski, he had filled by the only points of the third quarter. So okay, the Raiders retook the lead. That's okay. Still not a lot of points, but we got something.
Yeah. So, I mean, for Kansas City, right? They were looking pretty good still.
Yeah, well, third quarter didn't do much, only ran 10 plays, but come the fourth quarter, a familiar name found the end zone. This one, yeah, there it is.
Johnson blasting to the goal line. Touchdown.
Yeah, there's that name again, Larry Johnson. You get two presents on this day.
Yep, two presidents, Larry Johnson. So, yeah, so that's good. I mean, slow out the gate, but starting to pick it up a little bit.
Oh yeah, and then speaking of picking up a little bit, the Raiders were able to cut the lead to 28-27. That was with about 5 minutes to go in the game, and so the Chiefs all they got to do is run out the clock and preserve the victory. But with 53 to go in regulation, they were seeing bah humbug once again in Kansas City.
Key here for the Raiders with 148 left and one timeout remaining. And Green is going to throw. Ted Washington. And it's a mad scramble. The Raiders say they have a day two. My, oh my.
My oh my is correct, Dick Ember, because well, Chiefs elected to throw on third down, and well, they probably were definitely, excuse me, not probably, they were second guessing that when Trent Green got stripped by Mr. Ted Washington and or excuse me, Warren Sapp and Ted Washington, his fellow teammate, recovered the ball. And when you know the Raiders, you have a chance to steal this game.
Yeah, not the president you were looking for if you're Kansas City. You know, and for Oakland, they were able to tap that ball out, and as the commentator said, the Oakland was able to recover.
Oh yeah, my oh my, and that was Dick Enberg's signature saying when he would call games, especially on plays like this. So having said all that, so Raiders, you got good field position at your own 43-yard line. Just take control of the clock, run as much time as you need, so your opponent can't respond. So far, they were able to do that, but then the ball at their own 32-yard line, the Raiders, well, so why they were 5-9, or better yet, they were going to, your fans were saying bah humbug.
Hands it off, and again, crowd factor. They're so savvy here in Kansas City. Offense, number 60.
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah, false start on their center. Well, interesting if I say that their center 2 days ago cost them the game when he mishandled the snap and unfortunately caused Vegas the game rather because now they moved from Oakland to Vegas in the 20 years since this game occurred. Oh man, having said all that, yep, Raiders. It's now a 3rd and 13 for you guys, and right now, but then all right. Anywho, sorry about that. So having said all that, let's see if we can try to run some more time off, or maybe not.
The first down's not important here. They just like to get that 5 yards back. Get another flag. One of the linemen may have pulled too soon. You're going to get it again. Start. Well, the crowd's really going to go bananas now. If they were loud before, get your earmuffs out now. False start, offense number 88.
Oh yeah, and speaking of that, who's number 88? You might say Doug Jolly, and unfortunately, it was not his season to be Jolly for number 88.
Not being jolly like Santa Claus either. So, man, talk about another lump of coal.
Oh yeah, Mr. Jolly got a big one from old Saint Nick for starting a little early, and as a result, we went from a 3rd and 8 to a 3rd and 18, and so yeah, and only there's only about over a minute left to go in the game, but you gotta make up that yardage, and it's gonna be a long way to go. So Raiders went the safe route, ran up the middle for 5 yards, thanks to Zach Crockett, and were able to kick a field goal by 2. But unfortunately, on that drive, they only ran off 35 seconds.
35 seconds is only run off, and Amir, sorry, I was saying a text message, but let's see what happens. With this next play.
Well, I will say this for the Raiders: the Chiefs burned all 3 of their timeouts, so you kick the ball and pin them deep. I say you got a shot because I heard this Dante Hall. Well, let's say he has one. Raiders don't want him decking the halls, so I'd say special teams better get. They don't have any screw ups here.
Yep. So that's a good point. So let's see what happens with this play.
Good return. They skid it through. It's like a shortstop at the 15. One missed tackle. There he goes. 50. Bastian Janikowski makes the tackle at the 35.
Oh my! Once again is right, Dickenberg.
To hear it twice in the span of what 5-10 minutes of the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah, or 2 minutes in game time, but yeah, whoa, man. Raiders special teams. That is not no present for you guys. You get a lump of coal from old Saint Nick. The Dante Hall, yes, we're decking the halls once again in Kansas City because that return was 40. Well, you turned that kickoff 49 yards to the Oakland 36 and 54 seconds remaining. So hey, he's can run out the rest of the clock and kick walk off field goal.
Yeah, walk off field goal and doing the Jingle Bell Rock and dancing and prancing.
Yep, but well, fortunately, the Chiefs, for whatever reason, So they able to run 3 plays, but on 3rd and 7, elected to pass the football. I don't know why. It's like, okay, why do that? I guess they want to get more yardage, but be conservative in this situation.
I mean, they have to chew out the clock because what? It's like under 2 minutes, I believe, or 3 minutes left.
Yeah, and keep in mind your kicker has missed 2 field goals. The first one was blocked, and he kicked his 50-yarder at the end of the half fell short. So I guess I don't really blame him for trying to get it deeper, but we could have gone a more conservative approach. But either way, they were able to get to the 21-yard line of Oakland, and sure enough, Tynes comes out into the field, and well, let's start time to charm for him.
It is
Yes, it is. All right,
All
third time
right.
was the charm.
Yeah, third time was a charm, and sir, that's a big Christmas present.
Oh yeah, but hold on before you unwrap that thing. That Christmas present, Mr. Tynes. We still got 10 seconds to go, so anything can happen because Christmas. It's Christmas time. Miracles happen. Miracle on 34th Street. Anybody? Anywho, so having said all that, Raiders, are you gonna have a Christmas miracle for you? Can you?
There's a penalty. Collins for the prayer. Intercepted by Vinny Sapp, and this remarkable Christmas Day game is over.
Oh yes, it is,
Wow.
Hickenberg. So we have no Christmas miracle for the Raiders, but a Christmas miracle for the Kansas City Chiefs and Chiefs fans who were on hand for a Christmas Day classic.
Christmas Day classic indeed. I'm so glad I said 27 to 20 to keep it close, and man, what a game. What a game.
Yes, it is, and it's available in its entirety on YouTube on the Oakland Raiders channel, whose name I slipped my memory at the moment. But if you ever type in Chiefs versus Raiders 2004, you will find this game in its entirety on his channel. So shout out to you, sir. And again, Raiders, good effort, but came out short. But Kansas City, as they say many times, many ways, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas indeed. And if you want to check that out, folks, and I'll make sure I'll try to find that link and I'll put it in the description box down below.
Oh yes. So again, oh yeah. So and that was a quite entertaining game on Christmas for the Chiefs and the Raiders. And say, and I love putting these guys on a holiday because again they played on Black Friday 2 days ago. Time it's recording, and then they played last year in Kansas City on Christmas Day, won by the Las Vegas Raiders. Well, they couldn't quite live up to the one in 2004. Still close games nonetheless.
It, for sure. And that final score of that game, Amir, you had the Chiefs with 31, the Raiders with 30. So,
Mhm.
man, you had an entertaining game, for us NFL fans. So, well done.
Oh, thank you. Yep. And again, and Chiefs fans, I know they've had again. They're no stranger to playing on Christmas. They played on Christmas before and since, so it was a great Christmas for them. The Raiders, I know, they've had a couple Christmas Day games. When the one last year. Having said all that, that wraps up this holiday classic from 2004. Next up, we're going to talk about two teams that played on Thanksgiving: Green Bay Packers and the Miami Dolphins. But the last time they faced off was 2 years earlier on Christmas Day, 2022. Did anyone see that game? Remember it? Well, if you don't or have, well, stay tuned because that's what's coming up on Keenan's presentation on Doubleheader.
You're listening to Double Header. Be sure to like and subscribe. Well. What a game and from 2004 against the Kansas City Chiefs and Oakland Raiders, Amir. Wow.
Oh yeah, and it's a thriller on at Arrowhead Stadium.
A thriller indeed. And as you can see by the title of this presentation, you know, Green Bay Packers, Miami Dolphins, Packers in green, Dolphins in teal blue. Well, in this case, Carolina blue, but I had trouble finding the teal blue color, but still blue. Anyways, Packers and Dolphins 2022. Yes, this is the first time in a while that we've done a a more current game per se.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause a lot of the games we cover are like old games, like say from like the '80s, '90s, and 2000s. But we're also good to cover games that happened recently. 'Cause, we see them in real time.
hmm So yeah, this is the first game in a while where we done a more current or recent game. So anyway, Amir said it best. Green Bay Packers and Dolphins 2022. So without further ado, pregame notes. So the game took place on December 25th, 2022. Start time was 1 p.m. The stadium location was Hard Rock Stadium and Gardens, Florida. The location, the attendance of this game was 66,328. Television distributor was Fox Sports. Commentators was Joe Davis and Darrell Johnson. So that you see on the right hand side of your screen.
Oh, yep. Dale Moose Johnson, former Cowboys fullback, and Joe Davis. I know he was that year. He got promoted to the second team or second announcer, number two announcer, excuse me, Fox. As Joe Buggins, Raven 11 for ESPN, and Kevin Burkhardt took over the number one announcing spot with Greg Olson.
Yep. So and doesn't it Tom Brady do as part of the number one announcing crew now?
Yep, and ironically enough, Greg Olson's now the color commentator alongside Joe Davis.
Hmm. So Darrell Johnson, your spot has been taken over by the former Bears tight end and Panthers tight end.
Yeah. I think Daryl Johnston, you're with, I believe, Adam Ang, who used to work at Sports Radio USA. I think. I'm not 100. Don't quote me on that, folks.
Well, with that, those are your commentators. Those are your notes, and as you can see, the Christmas tree in the middle of your screen. So there it is, and we're waiting to see is gonna get some Christmas present underneath that tree.
Yeah, because it's going to be in South Beach, too.
hmm So with that being said, let's meet the quarterbacks: Aaron Rodgers and Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa, yeah. I know it's a little.
Tan- Ta- Ta- Tanago, Ain't it? Tagovailoa. Yeah, that's the best I could do. Okay, so my apologies if I butcher his last name.
You got a good. You nailed it on the second try.
Okay, well that's good. Well, this person I know really well, Aaron Rodgers. You know, Green Bay Packers quarterback, and the last year's record was 13 and 14 and 13 and 4, excuse me, 2021. And Matt LaFleur was the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, and we have Mike McDaniel, and I believe it was his first season as head coach.
Yep, yes, it was.
Yes, yeah. If my memory suits me correctly, yes, it was. And Mike McDaniel, and he doesn't look like a quarterback, a head coach, to be honest, to me.
Well, he was a young guy. I mean, I know a lot of teams are trying to replicate what Sean McVay did with the Rams years earlier, which, easily enough, I know Matt LaFleur and Mike McDaniel are on the Washington staff with Sean McVay, so hence why, you know, figured, hey, we can take a. They all came from that same coaching staff. Why not insert that to our team in our organizations? And needless to say, it's worked out.
And it sure has. And I do remember that story that you told me, Amir. And I'm like, wait a minute. So this guy and that guy is with da 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 da. And you're like, yep. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, small world.
It is a small world after all. Disney reference for you. But yeah, those are the head coaches and quarterbacks. As for Tua, you know, still a young guy. Aaron Rodgers, the veteran. Got any thoughts before we kick off the Christmas Day special?
Well, I do know the Dolphins came in at 8-6, and Green Bay came in at 6-8, but I wouldn't let the records fool you because I know Green Bay started to catch fire at around this time, whereas the Dolphins hit a were in the middle of a slump, and then that was very commonplace in Miami during December months where they were going for a playoff bid. Even we met the days of Dan Marino. They would get out to a good start, but then come December due to cold weather because they're playing Miami, it being a factor, they would, unfortunately things would tail off and they would either back into the playoffs or miss it entirely. Whereas Green Bay, they got to a slow start early in the season and they caught fire towards the end. And they're now in the playoff hunt. Is now the second year under the 17-game schedule.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that's a good point. In terms of the records for this game coming up, and that's something to keep in mind, like Amir said, because um, that's something to keep in mind when it comes to this game. Like as I just say that, but moving on to my next point. Any score predictions?
I'm I'm gonna go. I'm going to pick Green Bay. I say they're riding the hot hand. I know, despite the record and going down near the visiting team, but it's still going to be a close game at this Hard Rock Stadium. Let's say I'll give it 27-24 Green Bay.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 26-20 Green Bay victory. And Aaron Rodgers has a good game as the Green Bay Packers quarterback. And yeah, that's my prediction. All right, so we covered the quarterbacks, we covered the coach, we covered the score predictions. Now let's see who gets those presents underneath the tree, shall we?
I'm ready to unwrap some presents.
All right, so first quarter, Raheem Monsart, right guard for 14 yards, and then Tua Tagovailoa, complete short left to Tyreek Hill for 14. Raheem Monsart up the middle for 14. Now they're in Green Bay territory all of a sudden. Now Jeff Wilson, right guard for 5 yards, pass complete, deep for Tua Tagovailoa, and intended for Tyreek Hill. And then with that, Jason Sanders, let's see if you get a Christmas present underneath that tree.
The eye, or if they wanted to run the ball on 3rd and short, they're saying Jason Sanders straight down the middle, his 9th consecutive make.
All right. So far, so good for the hometown team.
So far, so good for the hometown team. And Jason Sanders, you do get that Christmas present. So Miami leads 3-0, but hold on. Green Bay responds.
Jason Sanders boots it down there. Nixon, always aggressive, bringing it out. Keyshawn Nixon does it again. This time he breaks free. Dolphins taking good angles. Nixon keeps it alive inside the 10.
Similar to Dante Hall's return from the last slide.
Yeah, so with Jason Sanders making that 3-0 Miami lead, Green Bay is already on their side of the field, in Miami territory.
Oh yeah, look, good position to take the lead.
Good position to take the lead, but Aaron Rodgers looks back, looking for an opening as he's brought down for a sack. And same song, second verse, Mason Crosby gets a field goal, and he gets a Christmas present.
All right, so tied up at 3. So good game.
Tied
You
up
got
with
so far so good.
So far, so good. Mason Crosby gets that Christmas present, but Miami not backing down from a quick response from Green Bay.
Tagovailoa under pressure, found a hole for Jalen Waddle, got a block and got free. Waddle with the speed, takes it inside the 30, keeps on going, all the way home. Touchdown Miami. 84-yard lightning strike.
Wow,
84-yard.
Wow, so see some waddling in South Beach. So we brought some penguins on with us in the South Pole or North Pole, excuse me.
From the North Pole, yes. And sorry for cutting you off there, but yeah, doing the water dance with the March of the Penguins from that came from the North Pole. It is currently a 10-3 lead now for Miami.
Yep, so deck the halls, South Beach.
Deck the halls indeed. And Green Bay marching on the field once again with great passes from Aaron Rodgers himself on a 3rd and 8, was able to get himself a dashing through the snow with on a one-horse open sleigh.
The look to throw it. Rodgers to the end zone has the wide open Mercedes Lewis for the touchdown.
Oh, we got get to open up. So he gets a Mercedes for Christmas. How about that?
Mercedes for Christmas, and he was able to get down the field and himself get that big yardage on that 3rd down.
Yeah, and since we're at South Beach, he was dancing through the sand on a jet ski. I don't know what the equivalent is for that, because although ironically it was right at Green Bay temperatures down in Miami that day.
Most definitely. And the Dolphins were not able to respond that time. Or Packers had 3 chances to convert until this.
Dolphins, one of the most aggressive defenses in the NFL, showing pressure and bringing just 4. Rodgers has time, steps up, takes off. Aaron Rodgers running inside the 5, and it's 1st and goal.
Okay, so my audio got a little switched there, so I was right on the 3rd and 8 situation. So with this one, that was able to convert.
Okay, gotcha.
So with that, the first quarter has come to an end, and we move on to the second quarter. So tied up at 10-all in the second quarter. Aaron Rodgers still team marching down the field until this happens.
Share all their little secrets with each other.
Going forward again on 4th down. 4th and 2. He wants Watson and overshoots him. There was nobody deep, and Watson had a step.
Humbug is right. And now it's Miami's turn to respond.
What do they really want from their tight ends, and just kind of think about what you see from San Francisco at that tight end spot.
Tagovailoa loads up and wants Tyreek Hill. He's got him. 1st and goal. They connect again.
Exchanging gifts. Tua and Hill exchanging gifts to one another.
Yeah, from Hawaii to Kansas City, or maybe and I think Cheetah gave him Tua some Cheetah themed cleats on that play.
Yep, that's good, and it makes it a 17-10 game. After the Wilson touchdown, and a punt fake on 4th down was no good, and this is how it turned out.
To leave unblocked is number 94.
It is a fake, and it's blown up. Raekwon Davis shuts it down.
Gee,
Mm,
talk about a snowball effect.
Yeah, another bah humbug for the green and yellow or green and gold.
Yeah, green and yellow. So the
Mm.
cheese heads. So
Oh yeah.
so after that Miami drive, Green Bay was able to march down the field, and I don't think. Wait, I already played this one already. So after that Miami drive, Green Bay would respond with this.
Second and goal. Looks to throw. In trouble. And sacked by Preston Smith. The ball was ripped out. And the Dolphins recover.
All right, so Preston Smith, you get a birthday Christmas present. As for the Dolphins, that was a bah humbug moment because that sack, that was not the time to take that sack, Tua.
Yeah. So they were able to march down the field with great throws by Tua, and was able to get sacked on that drive, which was this audio clip right here. So, and after that Miami drive, Green Bay were able to respond to make it a 20-13 lead going into halftime. So Miami, they get milk and cookies, and for Green Bay, they're wondering, where's my invite to the Christmas party?
Yeah, and as Phil said in that Rugrats episode, well, they need a miracle, like, yeah, we need a miracle, whatever that is.
But so milk and cookies for Miami and Green Bay, they need a miracle, as Bill once said on Rugrats. But um, so Amir, any predictions?
Well, Green Bay, you need that miracle or miracle, as Phil DeVille said. Well, I'd say 2 touchdowns helps. I mean, touchdown to tie it, touchdown to take the lead. Miami, well, hey, it's want to keep that Christmas party going. Your team needs to well, keep scoring.
Keep scoring indeed. So I like that. So second half rolls around with the practice start with the ball as they start to drive downfield, and they were being super aggressive um, on the first drive, and with Lewis for Green Bay, had something to say about that.
Pressure coming. Rodgers. Sideline. Lewis. Mercedes Lewis sets up first and goal.
There's that man again.
Yep, Lewis back at it again. With another beautiful dime, a beautiful gift exchange from Rodgers on that throw, which
Oh
led
yeah.
to this.
Inside the one. They give it to Dillon again. At the goal line, he spins in for the Green Bay touchdown.
All right. AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon, you get a Christmas present.
Yep, and it's very similar to the game I covered. It's a lot of points second half, and then a bit of well, actually got to a much better start here in the second half of this game between the Packers and the Dolphins. But I'm seeing similarities between the two.
Yeah, I see that too actually. So Miami looking to respond to after a really good drive, and after nothing comes to conclusion in the last 2 minutes of the fourth, Green Bay has the ball. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit to the fourth quarter. Aaron Rodgers, going for another drive here, looking to Lazard, and oh boy, this doesn't sound good.
Rodgers on the roll, sets up, looks long, lets it go for Lazard. It's picked off. Kader Kohu. First career interception comes of Aaron Rodgers.
Ender Kohu. Well, Merry Christmas to you, sir. That's a good Christmas present, or a good time to have your first interception. As for Mr. Rogers, you didn't get a note from old Saint Nick. It says he landed on my naughty list for that throw.
Yep, and you get a lump of coal, a small one at least, because you made that slight error.
Mhm.
So so Miami gets the ball back, being tied at 20 apiece, and um, with that, we have the Miami being tied at 20 apiece with the
Dolphins trying to snap a three-game losing streak. Tagovailoa. Uh-oh, that one's picked. Dueling interceptions. Jair Alexander. Punch, counter punch. Packer football.
Uh-oh, this Christmas party's getting. When they say gift exchange, it didn't mean exchange punches, people. It meant exchange it with friends and family in a peaceful manner.
peaceful manner. It was not for sure, but good goodness gracious here. So this drive would lead to a field goal with the Packers being uh having a 23-20 lead after a devastating turnover, with the Packers having multiple attempts to score a touchdown until this happens.
Back to the 30. Second and 13. That's picked off by Devondre Campbell. Second drive in a row ended by a Packer interception.
May need to get that Campbell soup out, Dolphins fans. It's getting a little cold in this at this Christmas party.
Yep, it is getting cold, and Tua was doing good until that moment. So that's the second interception now, and it's still a close game.
Yep, so anything can happen. That miracle might. We need. It's Christmas time, so miracles can happen.
Most definitely. And with that, the Green Bay team was able to choose some clock with that Mason Coffee field goal to make it a 6-point game, 26-20. And last chance for Miami. Let's see what they come up with. Down 6.
Over the sideline and picks. Russell Douglas. Third consecutive drive that ends in an interception. And how about the Packers D standing tall today? If they go 2-0 from here, they're going to get in.
Yeah, and again, that 15th straight win in the month of December for Matt LaFleur is such an amazing bounces back from this. The Bills game, there were some strides made. It looks like here in the second half, they'll know more about why those interceptions happened than we do, but it looks like maybe we took a step backwards on our offense this week.
Oh, that calls for the Green Bay defense because they were defending the North Pole on that day.
Yep, they were able to defend that for sure. So with that, are you ready to go over some player stats?
Sure thing.
You shot with Steve, and as you can see here, Aaron Rodgers, 24 for 28, 238 yards, one touchdown, one interception, excuse me, 2 sacks, 16 yards, 42 was the longest, and the rating was 78.6. And Marquise Lewis, 2 targets, 2 receptions, 32 yards, got himself a Christmas present. Christian Watson, 8 targets, 6 receptions, 49 yards, and AJ Dillon, 11 attempts on 36 for one touchdown, and 11 was the longest for him.
Yep. So again, for Green Bay, Merry Christmas for you guys. Enjoy the presents, the Christmas party, and the Christmas light show, and the Christmas marathon as well.
hmm And you get a milk and cookies and all the presents your heart desires, and Miami, you do not. To our to a Tagovailoa, you're 16 for 25, 310 yards, one touchdown, 3 interceptions, 2 sacks, and 16 yards, and 84 was the longest. Rasheem Monster was 8 attempts for 45 yards, 0 touchdowns, 17 was the longest. And Jalen Waddle was 6 targets, 5 receptions, 143 yards, 1 touchdown, 84 was the longest for him. Tyreek Hill wasn't able to find the end zone, but was able to get 6 targets, 4 receptions, 102 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 52 was the longest.
Yeah, Miami, you had unfortunately what Chan was trying to get the Ben, try to give him some money, and unfortunately, Magic Trick didn't play out well. And took some when Ross was trying to make Ben learn more about Hanukkah over Christmas. If you remember that Friends episode, folks.
Yep, definitely. So for the final score of this game was 26-20, and the record after this game was the 7-8 Packers and the 8-7 Miami Dolphins.
So, yep, so Packers, you found that miracle or mirable, as they say on Rugrats.
I gotta go watch it. I gotta find that episode somewhere. I bet I can find a clip of it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's called a Rugrats Passover. I know we're talking about Christmas, but also got to keep in mind Kwanzaa and Hanukkah as well. That was a
That's
very
right.
good episode because
Mhm.
I'll give Rugrats and Friends credit for acknowledging both holidays in their respective shows.
Definitely. Yep. So with that will be the end of my presentation. And yeah, folks, we're done talking about our Christmas special. And Amir, like we always do before we sign off, any similarities or differences between the two?
We'll say both first halves of both games, a lot of scoring, back and forth affairs. Second half, the defenses did step up, but at the end of the day, the team that scored the most points won, and that was the Green Bay and Kansas City. So they were able to make the big plays when they needed to. But give it credit to Raiders and Dolphins. Gave us two entertaining games that on Christmas Day, no less. And so it was got to say again, what could you say? When you play a game on Christmas, you're looking at a close game or a thrilling finish. I mean, that's what we got in Kansas City and Miami 18 years apart.
Yeah. And speaking of Kansas City, I was drinking some water out of a Kansas Speedway cup, which NASCAR goes to the Kansas City Speedway, which is, I don't know how far it is from the stadium, but, when I was looking at my cup, I'm like, oh, Kansas City Chiefs. So I made that connection.
Yep, and brought up Tyreek Hill, who used to play for the Chiefs, so another one. So again, as we always say, like, subscribe, follow us down below on LinkedIn, on Spotify and Wix and Instagram. And if you'd like to see, look, hit that notification bell as well so whenever we upload. And as we say in doubleheader, this is Amir and Keenan Costain. Thanks for tuning in. And now it's a little early, but deck the halls and this season to be jolly.
Tis the season, to be jolly, and happy holidays to everyone out there watching and listening. And like Amir said, we'll catch you guys next time. See you, folks. Have a good one.
Mm-hmm.